So this is the story of a buck called Mass Bridges. A good friend of mine, Ryan Mesker, known for a long period of time, just a really great buck, really beautiful deer, has hundreds and hundreds of trail camera pictures of him, sees him all the time. The buck is 7.5 years old, has just tons of bladed out mass on his rack, and really, really neat deer and an amazing story. Ryan feels like he's really reached his peak. He's been pretty much the same for a couple of years, and so he feels like, hey, I'm willing to harvest this buck. It's opening weekend of Iowa archery season. Ryan's super pumped. He's going to be hunting with the co-owner of the ground that he has, Jeremy, and they're out after Mass Bridges. They're specifically targeting this buck. They got the camera gear ready to go, and they're out and going to see if they can have an encounter with Mass Bridges. They're on the edge of a big food plot area and grabbed the black racks and rattled. Opening weekend of bow season, it's a time when a lot of bucks, particularly mature bucks, are really trying to establish their hardcore areas of the area they command for does. And Mass Bridges was out in the field and they rattled and he came right down to them. So they go from just absolutely just pure adrenaline rush and the highest of highs to all of a sudden now, they're realizing, my gosh, we put a bad shot on a 7.5-year-old buck that we both have known for a long time, and I think really just crushed with defeat. They obviously spent a lot of time trying to find Mass Bridges, couldn't find him, didn't have decent blood, and then the story kind of changes a few days later. He starts showing back up on camera, he's okay, he's alive. That's when they kind of kick back into gear of, all right, well maybe we have a chance at him again. Time's ticking by, we're in the season, they're trying to put together and trying to understand, where's Mass Bridges at, what's he doing, using the trail cameras, trying to understand his behavior. It's the middle of November. They're going to punch in on a bedding ridge that's very close to where Ryan suspects he's living and bedding, and try and use their communication tools and call him up out of that bedding area. Camera's rolling, Ryan's ready, filming, Jeremy's on the bow. Sure enough, Mass Bridges is on his feet and coming up that ridge. They realize at the last minute he's going to go right underneath them. And so Ryan is stacked with the camera really bad. He can't get footage of him. He's got to go clear around the tree. Jeremy's trying to get on him and get a shot. It was just absolute chaos. And Mass Bridges, a 7.5-year-old buck is directly underneath him at 4 or 5 yards.
I'm on him. Wait. Okay.
Mass Bridges runs off. 50 yards away, he's standing. They're realizing it happened again, Jeremy shot a little bit high. The arrow actually passed down and went right along the buck's rib cage and didn't enter the body cavity. It's indescribable. You can't imagine the disappointment that they're both feeling right now. Ryan and Jeremy just put in a huge effort trying to find Mass Bridges, searching and searching, trying to follow blood, and ends in disappointment. They couldn't find the buck. And so now they're back in the exact same boat again. Jeremy's just complete disappointment. Ryan's just bumming. This is a buck that they've known since he was 2.5 years old. To Ryan, it's a super, super valuable animal. They're facing again that Mass Bridges is wounded, maybe gonna die somewhere, they don't know. They're just gonna try and reacquire and understand, did he live or is he done? Ryan's out, he's checking cameras, trying to understand his Mass Bridge is gonna show back up on camera. Unbelievable, the buck is back on camera. He's got the hole in his shoulder from Jeremy's shot the night before, but he doesn't care. He's hitting scrapes, walking all over. He had him on 2 different cameras, walking all over the farm. This buck is just bulletproof. I mean, he's indestructible. It just really points to, how incredibly tough a mature whitetail buck like that, a 6.5, 7.5, 8.5-year-old buck can be. They're just absolutely one of the toughest animals out there. Things have really shifted gears. Ryan is realizing, hey, Mass Bridges has taken 2 shots and they're really having an effect on him. He's not doing that great, and it's just eating at Ryan that, hey, this buck is out there. I need to get him finished off. I need to put in the effort and put in the time to make sure that I can get a good shot on him and finish him off. We've got gun season coming in now, and so he's gonna put a plan together and trying to understand where is Mass eating in the afternoons, and we're gonna head in. I'm gonna be on the camera, and Ryan's gonna see if he can get Mass Bridges finished off. So it's December 10th. Ryan's chosen to sit on this food plot that's close to Mass Bridges' bedding area. Feels like there's a fair high probability that Mass will come out and eat this afternoon. And great deer show this afternoon. We had some does come out, and a nice 3.5-year-old buck came in and put on a show just 10, 15 yards away. And afternoon's kind of draining on, and all of a sudden we realized coming up over the hill about 150 yards away, it's Mass Bridges.
Excited.
Great shot, dude. Great shot.
That was Mass Bridges, a 7.5-year-old buck. Incredible amount of mass. And he's laying in the field at 75 yards.
Once Ryan had Mass on the ground, I looked over, I saw Ryan just, his head just went down, and neither one of us said anything. It just wasn't a time of celebration. It was a time of reflecting on everything that had happened with Mass. I think Ryan was just so thankful to be able to finally put an end to Mass Bridges.
I'm very happy to have him on the ground and know that he's not going to suffer through the winter and possibly find the deer dead. I don't want that with any deer, let alone this one with the history that I have with him. Very happy to have him down, and very happy, excited to have him on my wall. Incredible deer.
A guy like Ryan who's put that level of effort and time into his property, into improving his property, hinge cutting his property, putting ponds on his property, just all the food of every description, the trail cameras, the effort that he puts into that farm. It's his entire life, and to try and sum that up and understand what he's going through, there's absolutely no way you can understand that or understand the level of commitment that he has to his farm and to the deer that are on his farm. And to this day, I'm nothing but proud to be a part of it, and see that level of commitment is something that I now can aspire to. At the end of the day, we're all on our own journey as hunters, out chasing these animals that when you start out, you just want to see 1 or 2 of them, and by the end, when you're older, you have so much love and respect for the animals that you're chasing. It turns into something that I don't think anybody can even begin to understand. The love and respect you have for the animals that you're chasing, the places that you get to go chase them, and just living in a free country where we can do that, where we can go out and pursue these animals. We're the luckiest, it's just so lucky to be able to do that. And I always try and remember that, hey, the journey that I'm on is not the same journey that anyone else is on. Everybody has to do it their own way. And there should never be any form of judgment against anyone for anything, because everyone's on their own journey and it's a personal experience, and we should just be thankful that we all get to do it.